Hello everybody, it's Jen, Scrapbena Creations. I'm back with my first design team project for September for the Not Too Shabby shop. So here's the coupon code that you can use to make a purchase and receive 10% off your order. All the links to the shop will be listed in the description box below. So here's a close-up picture of the card I'm going to be making. I used almost all of the images in the stamp set for this particular card. So here's the stamp set, Pumpkin Spice by Pink and Maine. So fun. I'm trying so hard to hold on to summer, but I just had to give in to fall with this stamp set. So I stamped out the images on some Bristol Smooth cardstock using my VersaFine Black Onyx ink. I did heat emboss that with some clear embossing powder, and I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real brush markers today to do some coloring. Thought I would switch it up from my alcohol markers. So I used the same colors throughout each of the images, and when I did the pumpkin pie I used a little bit of brown, and I really like the dimension it gave, so I ended up using the brown on all of the orange images that I colored, so the pumpkins and such. I will leave all the colors listed below so that if you're interested in knowing which colors I used, you can check that out. So I thought I would bring in some blue, so I'm using a light blue color here for this coffee cup, the lid of the other drink, and the liner of the cupcake. And now I'm going with a dark brown, and I'm going to make this a chocolate donut. I also use it for the cake in the cupcake. And then I'm going to color one of the little mugs, well, not little, in brown as well, but I wasn't quite sure what color I wanted to do it at this point. So now I'm just adding in the green, so the leaves on the pumpkins, and then I decided to do the coffee sleeve for that cup in the middle, the bow on the cupcake, and then the rim and straw of the cup that I'm coloring now. And here's where I went back with the brown for this particular drink. So now I'm just going to come in and do the pie crust. So I'm just laying down some of the color where I think it'll be darkest, and then I'm using a water brush just to blend that color out. I'm still not 100% sold on my Zig markers, and so I just find I can't get the definition I want. So I brought in my Prismacolor colored pencils, and I'm just going over the images, doing a little bit of shading, and then I'm using a blender pencil by Prismacolor as well to blend out that color. And I just like the way that this gives some added depth and dimension to the images. It really did make them pop. And then you're going to see here in a second, I'm going to use a whole bunch of white gel pen to add some more detail to these adorable little images. So this is the blender pen here. It's just kind of like a white color, and it just blends out the colored pencils. So I'm going to finish up with the brown. I do go in and use a light, it's almost like an ivory color on the whipped cream toppings. Here I'm doing that now. You can barely see it, but it adds a lot of dimension to the whipped cream. So just going to blend that out and then move on here to the gel pen. So as I said, I'm going to use a lot of white gel pen to add detail, and I really feel like this is what made the card come to life. So on every segment of the pumpkin elements, I'm going to use a white line down on them, and then in various spots throughout the images. So let me know what your favorite season is. I am definitely summer 100%. I don't know how I ever ended up being born in Canada, and I'm really having a hard time letting go of summer this summer. Like I said, just because, oh, it's been so nice and warm here. It's been gorgeous. So I'm holding on to it as long as possible, but oh my goodness, these little images really are making me want to go and grab some pumpkin spice muffins from Tim Hortons. So I'm using the newest paper pad from Fawn, the Knit Picky Fall. So I grabbed this pattern paper with the multicolored leaves, which I wasn't even planning on using that paper, and the colors that I chose for the images matched absolutely perfect. I'm trying to use up some older stuff in my stash, and I have this glitter, well, I have 2 packs of 6x6 glitter paper that I got at Joann. And so I just used my Fawn scalloped border die there, and I'm going to use that on either side of this strip where I'm going to have all of the images placed. So just gonna get this lined up. Oh, you guys, if you watched one of my last videos, I had said that I'd repurchased a new ATG gun and it glides so beautifully. So I don't know if my other one somehow broke or just gets tired with a lot of use, but I am so happy to have this back. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Only crafty people would understand. Can't imagine telling other people that I'm really excited to have a tape adhesive in my life. Anyhow, back to the card. So I'm just going to place this. I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to put the sentiment at this point. Originally I thought at the top, but then I liked it better at the bottom. So I'm going to put this panel up closer to the top. And then I'm going to stamp out my sentiment. I'm going to use Walnut ink by Fawn for the sentiment. I don't know what I did folding cards, but that is not even. So I have to trim that down. I was watching YouTube while I was making these card bases, and I must have got distracted. I'm not quite sure what happened. Anyways, trim that up really quickly. I only needed to stamp this once. The Fawn die inks are great for sentiments. So it reads, Happy Pumpkin Spice Season. So I'm going to arrange these images onto my card here. The ones in the back, I'm just going to adhere straight down onto the paper. And the 3 images in the front, the pumpkin cup, which I think is absolutely adorable, the donut, and the pumpkin pie, is going to be raised on some 3M foam adhesive. And this little brown mug, I think I switched it around, not switched it around, but I moved it around 3 times until I finally got it into the place that I wanted it to be. So I love how all of these images are able to fit on a standard size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you can really make a great scene while doing this. And at the time of doing this voiceover, Jamie did have this stamp still in stock, so I will link to the shop below. And don't forget to use my coupon code JEN10 to save 10%. So here's where I think this is the final time I move this brown mug here. I guess it's not a mug. What would you call that? Travel cup? So I'm just going to add a little bit of my Spectrum Noir glitter brush marker here, just on the blue cup. I think everywhere it was blue, maybe except the cupcake. And then I'm just going to do some glitter highlights on the pumpkin mug, the pumpkin pie, and the other pumpkin images. To finish off this card, I'm going to use some glossy accents for the lid of that cup. And then on the rim of this cup, the leaves. And I'm also going to do the glaze for the donut. I think that's it. I can't remember if I did anything else. I hope you enjoyed this card today. Oh, I do all the little syrup. So this is like chocolate syrup and then strawberry syrup on the other little things. And I end up doing the frosting on the cupcake. So thank you everybody for watching. Have a fabulous day and I will see you soon. Bye.